Alright. Time to go and pave over some political incidents. Or maybe cause some new ones. Not sure yet. Guess we'll just have to find out. Alright. Last time around, the Luddics were like, hey, that's a cool planet you have there, but it's ours. And then I went, no. And then they left. Which means that the only things I have to worry about left are the two guys there. Hegemony and pirates. Get a feeling it's gonna be hegemony this time, but could be a coin flip. Didn't have any other big things to worry about. Although one thing that I'm always got the time to worry about is ship loadouts. Also, I actually have to start worrying about demods now because they're not gonna go away on their own. Effective manufacturing is kind of annoying. I don't think it's quite a deal breaker. Having to reduce recovery costs from deployments is also not so bad. Compromised hull, however. It's quite a lot less hull it has now, but I think the Restore is the same price regardless of how many demods it has, so I should wait until it has a couple more first. Or until it gets a really bad one. I know I said I didn't want to fuck around with these so much because I know they're not good. I know I'm not going to be able to make them good enough. But I want to try, damn it. Surely I can get something out of this. Could give one of these guys a fragment swarm. Don't think I have too many fret weapons, but I do have a few. I could start making use of them. So just noticed the kinetic blaster sure looks similar to the heavy mass driver. Probably because it's in the general shape of a railgun. It's not like it's gonna change all that much. Any pulsars can't go in these slots. No, wait, they can. Might have to consider that. I know the void blasters are good. I should probably replace the mining blaster with that, because it fulfills the same role, but it's got more range. Heals soft flex damage to shields despite not being a beam weapon. 12 max charges. 8 seconds to recharge, 4 charges gained. Refire delay of 0.25, meaning it would take about 2 seconds to shoot 4 charges, assuming the standard amount of recharge, which this does not. Maybe I should read the description. Space-time shearing effect appears to propagate at near but not exactly local speed of light. Still working on that one. Ruled out sensor miscalibration. Can't speculate at theoretical range. Limiting effective factor is the ability to focus within normal space. Damage to unhardened targets is dramatic. I'll have to write up the official report later. Got so much new data coming in. Not sure how the bots could have cooked this one up on their own. Sonya's gonna love it. Field Holo report to be submitted to the Director of Special Acquisitions only. So that does kind of hint at what I already know. It's technically a projectile, but not really. Having 2 of those would be pretty neat. I also have a cryo blaster, but that doesn't make use of the expanded mags. Not that it has to, but still think if I had the choice, I'd go with 2 void blasters, 1 auto pulse. But this is probably also fine enough. Stabilizer shield save 110 flux per second. And the last little bit goes into caps. Give this a test run. Put it up against no captain, no D-mods, conquest. Should be able to handle this, and if it can't, well, guess that means I need to do better. Shield's getting overloaded. Not fast enough to back away. Point defenses, not nearly enough for the large missiles. Safe to say, he's not winning this. Let's get to doing some changes then. Keep the auto pulse. Could get myself some more of these inimical emanations. But that would be an extra 4 points on top of the burst PD that I'd have to take out of capacitors. So, not gonna do that. You have plenty of those voltaic discharges. Did say I wanted to stick those on here. Back when I didn't quite have so many. No wait. Wasn't voltaic discharge, it was voltaic cannon. Which again, I also have more of them. take some points out of the vents. What about just above 720? Little bit of room for error. Everything else in capacitor. Okay. Let's give it another go. He's winning the flux fight. He's also got better range, better speed, better weapons, better pizza. Okay, undo the changes. Replace just the mining blaster with the void blaster. Everything else the same. And run the test again. Got his frontal armor. Most of it anyway. Yeah, still running into the problem of, if I want these to be effective at all, they have to have an officer. But I've already got all my officers on better shit. Not making terribly good use of them. Let it go for a little bit longer. Just to see if he can sneak a cheap shot or something. Hammers are depleted, flux is high. I don't think he's going to be accomplishing very much. Other than the one lucky hit. Got basically nothing done. Alright. We're about the hammer. Replace the burst PDs with voltaic cannons. Stick on... Where is it? Alright, this thing's already got a front-facing shield, it's just a kinda bad one. So much for that. Maybe just use the spare points for more vents. More caps will probably be better. But if all it takes is backing up, dropping the shield for like 2 seconds, and then he can go right back in, might not be all that great for 1v1s, but for fleet action, that's pretty good. Not that I'm gonna change the test. Still gonna test it against this guy. Kinda seems to be worse so far. So maybe my conclusion was wrong. Well, not really wrong. Flux goes down real quick. Just doesn't have the capacity to get anything done. He gets fluxed out on the approach, and then he's forced to back up anyway. So it doesn't really matter if it takes 2 seconds or 10 seconds to dump all the flux if you can't get anything done. Especially since he doesn't have terribly much peak performance anyway. I guess I just relearned what I already knew. Okay, try it again. We'll figure this out eventually. Or I won't, and I'll just scuttle the ships and be rid of it, but gotta try, damn it. Doesn't really help that he tries to stay at a distance that, if he had full range, would work, but he doesn't have full range. So instead he just kind of hangs around him, then backs up. Hangs around him, then backs up. Never really getting any hits in. Which wasn't a problem with the version with missiles. Just more proof that I'm kinda trying to use the champion for something it was not meant for. Yeah, there he does it again. Maybe if I give him engage orders, it'll be different. Or it won't. And instead he's just gonna take chip damage until he dies. Well, either way, this design ain't it. So back to what worked. Sort of. Actually, let's just try running it with what I already have. Snuck a missile in there. hit the shield that time. 2 shield hits. Well, not the worst performance of the test performed just now. Still dissatisfied. How much is it for auxiliary thrusters? Not that much. Let's give that a shot. I'm thinking if the maneuverability's high enough, you could kinda juke the Mjolnirs, but will that actually happen? Sort of. The increased maneuverability doesn't do anything for increasing speed, but it does make it easier to change where the ship's going, faster than just having more speed would. Don't quote me on that. Just because I'm assuming a decent enough speed boost would probably be better than maneuverability, but I've already got all the speed boost I can get. And just gonna be the same as all the other times. Really wish I didn't stick the flux distributor in there. But if I didn't put that one in, which one would I have put in? Stabilized shields is always relatively solid. Escort package wouldn't really do anything. Although, now that I think about it, this is one of the other speed boosts that I could have that I haven't been making use of. Since it's a cruiser though, it'll have to stick around a capital, but I've got 4 of those. No wait, 5. Forgot about the onslaught. Still don't think it would be good, just because of the lowered peak performance. Don't really want an escort that only lasts like 2 minutes. Maybe you do. I don't know. Okay. So, I'm thinking I'll just leave it at what the standard is, despite the changes I made just there. But I remember the whole thing about trying out some of the fragment weapons. Well, by that I mean the threat weapons that use the fragment swarms. If I'll take discharges instead of the burst PDs, gonna need to add in the threat hull, where it is. Do I not have the item for it? Or am I just blind? Oh. It's called Fragment Swarm, not Fret Hull. Fret Hull's the one that I can't get on my own ships. I think. Swarm of fret fragments roils around the ship, providing a regenerating supply of fragments for fragment-based weapons. Base number of fragments is 20, 40, 60, 100, so it's a cruiser, so 60. Replacement fragments are launched 3 times a second, depending on hull size. Required for fragment weapons to function. If the hull mod is not present or there are not enough fragments in the swarm, fragment weapons will be disabled. Actually add it. Ah. Looks a little bit different. There is the swarm launcher, which I only have one of. Let's read the description. Previously undifferentiated autonomous fragments are reassigned from the structure of the host vessel itself to replenish the standing cloud, from which they can be assigned into loosely organized strike groups. The key element appears to be this, L designated, a specialized system node. We speculate that it is a distributed processing / communication cluster, one of several you will see highlighted on the hull, here. These appears to coordinate, possibly initiate and delegate, hostile behavior by elements of the semi-autonomous swarm. Sealed hull report to be submitted to the Director of Special Acquisitions only. No flux cost, limited ammo of 30. First fragment swarm hull mod uses 50 fragments per swarm launched. Can control up to 4 swarms concurrently, but will wait to launch new swarms until the existing ones are depleted. Weapon cannot be fired manually, will always launch swarms as soon as it's possible to do so. So it only having 30 shots. I'm guessing one of those, if the player uses it, it's kind of a problem. If the fret uses it, who cares? That ship's getting recycled in no time anyway. But I do not have a fabricator with me, so I do have to care. Have any other fret missile related weapons? Doesn't look like it. Although, this thing does have safety override, so let's give it a go. This one needs 10 active fragments to use. Fires a barrage of EMP arcs at nearby targets. Arc always hits. As for the description, we'll zoom in and note the distinctive structure of the arc source. Recommend use of shields and EM hardening when matching features are identified. An updated tactical dataset is attached to this report. This one is charge based, but it does reload, unlike the missile. I don't think any of the other medium weapons I had were fret related other than the Void Blaster, which does not need the fragment swarm anyway. But I'll still stick it on there, just because I can. The only other thing I've got is small energy. Could stick more voltaic discharges. Yeah, a couple of voltaic cannons. Alright. Find out just how much this sucks. Or maybe it's actually really good. So far, those are pretty good at being a distraction. Not really getting anything out of the voltaic cannons. But as far as actually winning this fight is concerned, seems about the same. But I'm thinking I could get rid of the unstable injector, give it some more caps, leave the rest more or less the same. Maybe switch out the voltaic cannons back for the mining lasers just to have a couple more points. Overconfident there. Alright, seen enough. For this one, its goal is gonna be stay at a distance and be annoying. Keep the safety overrides, get rid of the injector, mining lasers back on. Got 32 points to work with for hull mods. When 58 seconds, with the hardened subsystems, that goes up to 238. Wonder if it would run out of charges for the swarm launcher before that. Let's give it a try. Same target. Can't help but feel like this thing is more optimized for crushing targets I already don't have a problem with. Like pirates. Making basically no use of the medium or large weapon mounts, other than the swarm launcher. Maybe I should have done it the other way around. Keep the unstable injector, get rid of the safety overrides. Gonna keep this test running because I want to see how many charges the swarm launcher still has once the peak performance time runs out. Because if it's at 0, I might just keep the safety overrides. If there's still plenty, I'll get rid of them. The safety overrides, that is. About 88 seconds left. Voltaic discharge kinda works. Not sure if it's better than the burst lasers, but figure I might as well use them if I'm gonna be using swarm fragments anyway. Got in range to use the weapons for once. Something seconds until peak performance starts degrading. Seconds. Actually getting some damage in. Okay. Peak readiness is going down. How many charges he got? 15. Okay. Get rid of those safety overrides and harden subsystems. ITU, stabilize shields. Leave that at 20, boost up the capacitors. Probably doesn't hurt to have a void blaster in there. Okay. Once again, we're giving it another go. This charge definitely seems to be performing better with the added range. Still can't quite stop the MIRVs, but the squalls it can. For the most part. Oh hey, it's the frog. What's up, frog? I've just been testing some of these funny little guys here. You know, those guys. They're a pretty decent distraction so far. Now I just have to make them effective. Nice big distraction, but the ship that sends him out doesn't quite have enough time to close in and get some damage in. Just what I'm trying to figure out. Bad position right now. Okay. Frontline fighter, you are not. Especially since you don't have any hardened shields. Which maybe that's what I need to change. Stick some of those on there. Everything else is probably as good as it's gonna get. So let's give it a bit of a more proper test. Not a 1v1, an actual fleet action kind of test. 100 points worth of Pavers. Then bring in the alcohol, which is the previous design this thing used to have, oven mitt, and the cork. That's more points than the Pavers are, but they're gonna have a lot more ships than we do. Let's see how the sister ship's doing. Completely failing to take out salamanders. Well, the first two, not the second two. yeah, the fire's gonna need some revisions. But in general, both of the champions I've got on the fleet kinda have some problems. Alright, seen enough of that. Cause the intent of these ships is they're not really that fast. But they do have half decent shields. And they've got a lot of decent enough weapon mounts. Unfortunately, my fleet is all about that speed. So if I bring these guys along in their usual configuration, they just kind of lag behind and get swarmed and exploded, which is not ideal. So I kind of fixed it with this design by slapping safety overrides and engine boosters and all kinds of other fun stuff, which unfortunately makes it so that they don't last terribly long in combat. Notice that orange number next to peak performance there. They last about 3 minutes or so in combat, and then their combat readiness starts going down, which is, in short, not good. But hey, if it lasts 3 minutes and it gets a bunch of kills, that's good enough. Yeah, with this one I was just kind of trying to reimagine it by using exotic technology. And I think the program's a failure. So strip that right back out. Put the old stuff back in. Actually, I'll keep the Void Blaster here. It's pretty alright. But I definitely need to get more of those. So I only got the one. Alright. Stable injector. Where's the safety override? Right there. Basically staring at it and I still missed it. Okay, I'll leave it at this. I don't think I want to change any of my other ships. Alright, how about I actually get to doing some stuff that it doesn't involve a simulator? Such as fixing my reputation, because right now most people don't like me. Start with Tritachyon. Also gonna need to bring a lot more fuel. Fill up the whole thing. Shipping disruptions. Sure hope there's not another pirate base nearby. Alright, jump in the big teleporter over to Ima. And then go right next door. So again, they don't really like me, but we're at inhospitable rather than hostile. So maybe they'll let me land on their planet and then I can be like, yo, I know you don't like me, But I've got all these AI cores and I know you love those. And then everything will be fine. After I hand over a big pile of them. There's the Capital Assurance Fleet. Seem to be too busy dealing with pirates right now. You. Like to turn in some of these AI cores that I've acquired. They don't give me nearly as much reputation bonus as the other guys, so I'm gonna have to trade in a lot. About 40 gamma cores, 20 beta cores. Should bring me up to -5 rep, which is enough to at least talk to people without them being like, fuck off. Another thing I'm thinking is, should I go talk to, what's his face? Ryan Arroyo. I think I have him as a contact. I do. Say, I think he could arrange a deal to solve my ongoing friction with Tritachyon. You know, after you had a whole bunch of mercenaries to fuck up the shipping. Arroyo leans back, thoughtful. First, he says, you don't call me Ryan. He drums his fingers on his onyx desk, thinking. There may be a way to make this work, he says, speculatively. Tritachyon believes in internal competition, and if the reports I'm reading are any indication, the senior execs behind your friction have somewhat overplayed their hand. The financial predictor section is seeing a lot of red coming up despite their best efforts to cover it up. And that does mean blood will spill. Figuratively, of course. A fierce smile begins to grow on Ryan's face. Unless... well, let's talk details. Arroyo pulls up a shared document context and rapidly assembles a package of terms to present to his contacts at the highest levels of Tritachyon. Data sharing of certain nav charts and commodity future predictions. Mutual safety protocols for trade fleets. Shared field and in-dock servicing arrangements. What it amounts to is increased accessibility for your colonies, proportional to their market size, and in turn, proportional gains to Tritacyon's trade access. It's not exactly a cartel, but it's a good first step, Ryan says. You both gain opportunities, and, of course, his smile returns. I get my percentage for arranging the deal while cutting down a few up-jumped vac heads in the executive corps. Win-win-win. He leans back, admiring his work. It's a good deal, Max. I suggest you take it. Whatever you say, bro. Smart move, he says as you upload your encrypted signature to confirm the terms. Now, I've got some calls to make. Get out of here and stay out of trouble. You can thank me when the credits start rolling in. My colonies have received a plus 24% accessibility, and the Tritachyon colonies got a 17% bonus. I do have more colonies, so I think overall they got the better deal, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Okay, so that's one enemy turned friend. The other one I was thinking of was the Syndrian Dictat. Then again, maybe my efforts are better pursued elsewhere. It's not like they have terribly much influence being confined to one sector and all that. Don't think I'm gonna have peace with the Pathers anytime soon, no matter how hard I try. The church would be a little bit more realistic. And there's also the hegemony, which my reputation with them is gonna get worse in the nearby future just because of certain things I've been up to. And I'm thinking I'm gonna have to think about it. And by that I mean, I have to go take a short break. Empty the bowel. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. And feeling ever slightly lighter. Can't imagine why. Anyway, what was I babbling about? Right. Tachyon is probably not going to be a problem in the future. My colonies are making more money than ever. Very nice. This woman that looks disappointed by the commodity traders wants 500 units of food delivered to Scaffy. Or really not that much money. No thanks. How about Arroyo? Got any work? It's got bounties. Doesn't pay terribly much, but you have to get my reputation back up. That's one way to do it. So we will. Any other bounties in the area? That one's worth basically nothing. This one is worth money. It's for the independents though, so it's not gonna see any reputation bonus from that. So I have to go all the way over here to the Kestrel system, or constellation. There just so happens to be a gate right here that I've already opened. Over in the Ball system, which is part of the Kestrel constellation. Head back over to Ima, jump back in the gate. Lots of carnage happening over there. So now that I'm looking in the bottom left corner where it says I've got nearly 9 million credits. Maybe I stop worrying about doing bounties for money and start worrying about doing it for rep. So maybe I will get this one for the Persian League done. Hegemony wants a pirate base blown up. I think I will. Let's start with this one. In the Alpha Kestrel star system, which is this one. Start by going to the gas giant. Usually the bounties always hang around either a planet or a point of interest. Usually always a planet. Ah. There's also a Ludic Path base here. There's the bounty. Let's have some fun with this one. Maybe not quite that many. Send in the fruit fly, the forget-me-not. Metal pipe. situation sucks, you just leave. Situation's following me. Good thing I just can keep leaving. They're gonna just chew up all the smaller guys. Eradicators are gonna chase after me. But that doesn't mean I can't get my hits in. Not letting you get away. Rest of the guys don't seem to be having too many problems. There we go. Nice and easy. How'd you guys fail to get 2 drams? Yeah, whatever. Still get the bounty even if you don't kill literally every single one of them. Speaking of bounty, there's no bounty on this Lytic Path base. They're probably not going to want to trade with me now that I just blew up one of their nearby patrols. So I could either take them out, raid them, or just pretend I didn't see shit. I'm thinking I'm going for that last one. Okay. Take out this other bounty over here. Hiding out near a volcanic world on a binary star system within the Kestrel constellation. The only binary one. There's only one volcanic planet, Indrik. Here comes the drive sucker. Be gone. Really should have went and did this bounty while I was already here the first time around. Yeah, you'd better run. Didn't run quite as hard as I thought he would. This just makes it easier for me. Got a couple of his ships, but not the flagship. handle this one myself. Technically, I only really need to get rid of that guy. But I also want the other dude dead. Oh, lucky me. It's going straight at him. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered with bringing in the frigate. Save me a little bit of time. Not much else. Okay, reputation's up by 3. Marvelous. There's the pirate base over there. There's a couple of bounties over here. Pays way more than the pirate base. Gotta go for those guys instead. Starting with this guy. Cryovolcanic world in a binary star system. There's only one binary star system, so that's probably not going to be too hard to find. How about the other guy? Volcanic world in a system with a giant primary star. Which there's 3 of those. Three volcanic worlds over here. None there. Four over here. He could be in a bunch of different spots. But I'm gonna start with the other guy anyway. Is there a gate over here? Closest one is over in Rama. How close am I to worrying about the inspectors? Should be about another 5 months or so. So I've got until about the end of the cycle. Well, maybe not quite that much. Well, I'm in one of the 2 spots that one bounty could be. Might as well go check out the volcanic planets. Starting with that one. Some remnant dude hanging out nearby. For some reason my cat is here. Not sure how he managed to open the door. Better not go clawing at cables again, you bastard. bounty fleet wasn't at any of the other spots. Check the last one and then go take care of the cat because he is starting to swat at the cables again. Okay. I'll be just a moment. Alright. Got a couple of extra scratches on my hand, but I'll live. Alright. So that one bounty was not in this system. The other one was in a cryovolcanic planet, I'm pretty darn sure. That is what it says. Don't have much time to get there. Better hurry it up. There they are. Got nothing all that formidable. There's just a lot of them. Blow them up the old-fashioned way. And by that I mean doom. Other than that, bring in the serial number, the auroras, mixtape, metal pipe, and that should be more than enough. Let's see where they pop up. Seems to be directly in front. All the big boys are right there. Could go around and take out everything that's not one of the capitals. But I did also see one of the herons they had disappear right back up over here. So could just try to Swiss around. Serial number will probably engage him from over here. Then I'll be in the perfect flank position. Assuming I don't blow up before that. Definitely gonna want to take out the fighter deployers. In other words, carriers. So that's one. The other one's over there. Serial number is approaching like I thought he would. Don't see any other carriers on here. So, time to go blow up some of these battle barges. Drag the point defense. Send missiles. Well, the missiles didn't get him, but can't exactly fight back anymore. Anyone left? The answer was no. Jeez. Usually don't kill these morons this fast. Okay, it's one bounty done, 16 days to get the other one done. Or... am I reading that right? Mechanic world in a system with a giant primary. Okay, yeah. That's the other one we had. It's all the way over here, though. Might not be able to get there in time. We can sure try. Days remaining. I see him. Get over here. Okay. They are heavy on carriers. Everything else is... well, there's a couple of cruisers, but it's all frigates and destroyers otherwise. Just have to blow up the small stuff. Which I think is the perfect opportunity for the meatball squad. I'll go in with the telephone key and round it off with the Auroras. It's probably overkill, but I like overkill. Here comes the shade. Not getting away. So here approaches the fighter swarms. That's two of their cruisers over there. The last one's right in the middle. Bunch of the meatballs are right behind me. One Aurora's already in there. The other two are approaching. So I'll divert, go over this way. Putting myself in all kinds of trouble. I'll be fine. So all their carriers are all right here. Except for that one. But he's close enough. I'll count it. Start slamming him. Maybe I shouldn't have been so literal about it. Okay, so the plan got thrown out the window. We still seem to be winning this. Pretty damn easily now that I look at it. Definitely overdeployed. I'll head straight over towards the cluster of carriers. Not that I think they're the most dangerous thing, but I do want to prevent them from retreating. Or maybe I go for this guy first. Always chasing the nearest shiny thing. God damn it, did it again. Need to stop doing that shit. That did it again, but no consequences. There was a meatball to catch me. Okay. That batch of bounties done. Still got a while until the hegemony shows up to be all like, why you running so many blue Skittles? Or something like that. Speaking of hegemony, they want this pirate base down. I'm already here. Might as well. New bounties available. Most of them right where I was just earlier. Including that base I didn't explode. What are those guys doing? Just a bunch of mercs. Whatever. Got no beef with them. Selling all this metal. Nor the fact that, has pirate markings on it. So I think 3 Odysseys should be more than enough for this kind of thing. Let's see if I'm wrong. Really 2 is probably enough. But there's more of a light show this way. Also, I need to get used to not being that worried about supplies and fuel. I can afford as much as I want. Well, not really, but close enough. Why are you backing up? It's backing up, going forward, backing up, going forward. Meanwhile, the other guy's getting all the work done. Come on, get in there. Okay, maybe you don't have to get that in there. Would help if the other two didn't also decide to back up all of a sudden. Shouldn't complain too much. They're getting the job done, even if it takes a while. Still got back more supplies than I used. Okay. How about I go do something a little bit more interesting? Just have to find the nearest gate. An active one over in the Vasuki system. Should have enough fuel to get back there. By back there, I mean the home base. If not, there's always Core Worlds. Takes 2,300 fuel. And if I went there the usual way, would take approximately twice as much. Noted. Another thing I've been thinking about is, if I'm just gonna have AI cores all over the place anyway, maybe I should just have him in charge. Make that much more money because of the hypercognition. I see no downside whatsoever to this strategy, and so I will employ it. Also gonna stick Freeport status on everything. So those are some pretty big detachments. Just kinda wish they had better ships. Which I know I can do, but being lazy about it. Apparently I'm out of AI cores. Alpha AI cores. Gonna have to fix that. Originally I was thinking of going and killing some more Fred, but now I've got a better idea. Let's go kill some Remnant. I need AI cores after all. Yeah. Love to kill some more Fred, get some more of those weapons and actually start using them, since I have not experimented just about any amount with their weapons other than the ones that don't need Fragment Swarm. And I'd love to figure out some more. But one problem at a time. Right now the problem is AI cores. Okay, so where did I leave some intact remnant bases? There's one up there, one all the way up there, and a cluster of them down here. Which ones have a gate? Those two. Let's go over to Elsbeth. Hold on, I see some orange on the map. Hey there, Mr. Inspector. What would you like to talk about? The comms stabilize and the Hegemony Fleet Commander appears before you, straight-backed and stern-faced. Citizen, this non-chartered volume is now the subject of an active operation to investigate the possible use of forbidden AI technology. I invoked full martial use of force protocol per Hegemon Dictat. Power down your fleet's weapons, shields, and engines, and prepare to receive inspection from the Ministry of Technology Standards. He tips his head down, very slightly. You are thanked in advance for your imminent cooperation with our investigation. Right. Power up weapons. Let's keep it nice and simple. I don't think that Dominator's close enough to take out those mines. Now he has to run into us. That other Dominator, however, is close enough. There goes all the mines. And maybe I should send in some smaller stuff. Mixtape, metal pipe, melting point. Oh wait, only got enough points for 2. Fruit fly, and that's enough. Take a couple of those to the face, why don't ya? Okay. Can't really do anything about these Dominators. Their point defense is just too good. But that Legion, he's all mine. Well, that was short-lived. And I'm about to take a couple of small bullets to the chin. Chin, face, neck, and a couple up in the shoulders. Don't want to leave him there. I think he'll probably just get rushed down if I leave. This is a terrible matchup, but I have to try. Seagulls approaching. Gotta get this done quick. No dice. Have to leave. Bunch of small shit on the side over here, harassing the stick. Meatballs and the mint are over there. So I'll focus on the small stuff. Technically, you count as small stuff. gift for that guy. And the stick's already gotten rid of all the other dudes. Pretty much just the Dominators left. They are annoyingly good at their intended role of fire support. Get rid of you. One more. Think we got him. Let's send some more missiles just to make sure. Fight's done. Alright, now back to the original plan. Grab some more AI cores. Every time, there's always a new distraction. Goddamn pirates. Be gone. Just let the big boys take care of it. Oh, hey there. Digital key, I think that's pronounced. It's going pretty good so far. Just, constantly distracted by more dudes trying to interrupt the shipping. Can't allow that to happen, that's how the money rolls in. So that's a lot of small guys. Maybe I add myself to the equation. Yup, this one is full vanilla. Doesn't usually happen, but it is what's happening right now. Goes to serial killer. running right into him face first. He's pretty good at it. That's how most people do it. Mostly, it helps to understand quite what changes with the mods. Some of them do get a little wacky. You know, just a little bit. Which, I should mention, I am planning on, once I've completed all the hard content in the game, I'll get around to throwing a bunch of mods together and starting another playthrough with all of that. It reminds you of Escape Velocity Nova. Can't say I'm familiar. I've had one person mention that this game is kinda like Space Rangers, which is another game I've been meaning to look into more. Because it wasn't the first person that I saw mention it. It's an old game. Might have to check that one out too then. So it's starting to look like maybe I shouldn't have bothered deploying myself. But whatever. Supplies are basically free nowadays. Also, I just realized I had the Rift Lightning selected the whole time, so I've been down one weapon. Again, not like it matters much. The only accomplishment I'm gonna achieve in this fight is preventing this one dude from running away. Just smack right into him. What's he gonna do? Alright. One dude died. Tragic. Okay. Grab all of that. And finally, go do what I intended to do from the start. Over to Elspeth. Okay. There's still remnants somewhere around here. Forget where their house is. Not detecting any at the moment. Here's one. There's a bunch of them. Guessing the base is somewhere around here. Not that I have to go over there. Could probably take on those two Ordos at the same time and win. Probably. But also get an XP bonus for doing that. Which I do have a bunch of story points already, so I don't have to, but I kinda want to. Give it a save. Let's give it a go. It is a lot of blue. Plus 81%. So really not that bad. Bring in metal pipe. And the monitor. Probably bring in another whole bunch of meatballs. Right now I'm not commissioned with any factions. I used to be commissioned with Tritachyon, but I kinda torpedoed that relationship. Mostly so I could get more Odysseys. Never found a blueprint for it, but 4 is enough. And 4 is what I got. Yeah, I've got my own faction now, and I've got plenty enough money rolling in. Don't really need to grab another commission. Brilliant with a paladin, ruining all my fun. Got me with the EMP. I got him with the Reaper. Built up his flux at the cost of armor. Now for the kill. Whole lot of sparks. At least I think that's sparks. They're definitely not lugs. They're definitely not flash. Must be sparks. Managed to get one of the Anubis. They're probably gonna beat the shit out of that monitor. Stick to the plan. Bring in the mixtape. And leave the rest of the points for now. Mint is getting pressured hard. Not entirely sure if I can get it over there in time. But I can try. Not looking good. Mixtape got blown up. Okay. Stop feeding meatballs to the remnant. Send in oven mitt. Failed to save the mint, but I can still kill all of you. Also, maybe send in a replacement Odyssey. Dill, you're up. To kill. Or I'm wrong. I'll take it. And then the stick blew up. God damn it. This is going horribly. Send in serial number. Too much point defense for my blind missile spam to do anything. But the not so blind missile spam still works. Also, the serial number's getting ripped to shreds. lots of carnage. I think I won out at the end. I say, looking at the fact that we control none of the points, and I've got very few ships. I think this is going to be disastrous enough to require a save load, but I think it definitely signifies that my fleet could be better. Much better. Oh, there's the Radiant. Nearly forgot about him. Wait for him to do the first move. There we go. Right on the mine. His flux is back to 0, his hull is down, engines are down. Serial number's nearly dead. Gonna have to make this count. Got it. Now I just have to kill the rest of them. So how are you losing to a brilliant in an Apex? Shouldn't be that hard of a fight. Can he make it? He can. Reflect real poorly on me if I fail this fight. As always, it's a good thing I'm indestructible. And I think that's him dead. Who's left? Just a glimmer over there. There goes the engines. Come on, kill him. Do it. Gonna file this one underneath. Don't be the high scatter amplifier to an officer that isn't at least aggressive. It's a lot of dead guys. Good thing I brought backups. Two more alpha cores. It's gonna take a while for everything to get fixed. Just gonna sit here and chill in the debris field. Okay, try this again. And hopefully not have it be such a Pyrrhic victory. Bad chance, I know. Everyone gather up on the nav buoy. Let them come to us. Already going much better than last time. But maybe I shouldn't have said anything until we actually started taking on the bigger shit. Like you. There's the Radiant. Taking out my meatball. Not if I can help it. Damn it. Just short. Well, call in the backup meatball. Getting pressured away from the point by the Radiant. Got the one brave meatball hiding over here. Maybe I shouldn't have told him to capture the other points. Maybe I should have. I don't know. Try to get rid of the smaller stuff first. It's Admiral Y11. How goes it? I'm just, taking on the Remnant and being relentlessly humbled by the fact that my fleet is not as good as I wish it was. Hopefully you've been doing better. Oh hey, that's a brilliant drifting right in. Don't mind if I get rid of that. Kaboom. Found some good ships, but you need the guns. Yeah, that's always a problem. But usually, the ships is the hard part. So at least he got the first step done. Another meatball down. Friggin' hell. Got 5 of the things and they still all die. Send in oven mitt. Just started, still recovering from being ill, and you're still a bit rusty. Well, hopefully you've been doing better with the sickness part. Season 3 has had the same rocky start of tech problems, forcing restarts. I'm guessing a mod issue where it bugged a save or something like that. I haven't played modded in a while, but I remember having one mod that would do that a lot. Really pissed me off. Anyway. Monitors being a good distraction. We're losing that point. Turmeric is fighting against something he better win against. And oven mitt's backing me up. Just have to take out this guy and the fight's basically done. Wide Horizons. Update broke your first save. And then TriOS decided to use an old version instead of the current version. Yeah, that's a annoying double whammy right there. You really think that the auto updater stuff would actually, you know, do that part correctly? Okay, radiance down, monitors also down. Let's get rid of this order. Now we just have to have everyone gather up. Annoying amount of brilliance with paladins on him in this fleet. These guys should be handled, so let's deal with the left. Let's drown him in purple. And a bit of red. Want to drag Admiral into Power Bomberman. Just see how well he fares with that game. I'm aware of the original Bomberman. Is it kinda like that? Also, I might be in trouble. Not that much trouble. Once again, all my meatballs are down. Okay. Bring in Tab. Not giving up so easy. Yup. I, kinda specced into it this time. Since I figured, you know, I like it. Might as well be good. Because as it turns out, cigarette's kinda boring to drive. That being said, if I had a fully kitted Ziggy, this fight would definitely be a cakewalk. So once again, losing another Odyssey. I think I might have over-optimized for Fred or something, because I don't remember having quite this many problems with remnants earlier. Do also have 9 Reapers left. Should probably just spam it. I say, with the ever-present Brilliant with a Paladin on it, ruining all my fun. Okay, now you get to die. Got ion beams. Better make this quick. None of that salvo got out. But his engines are down. As good as dead. Love the ships from your mod. Which mod would that be? Because, I'll admit, I'm not terribly familiar with most faction mods. I usually just do, like, really light stuff like speed up or hyperdrive. So yeah, no, so far my performance on this, or these last few Remnant fights has been horrible. But I said that already. Said a lot of things already. Most of them were almost true. I just realized the worst part of doing all these fights and losing all these ships is I don't have the hull restoration skill anymore. It's gonna take a lot of money to fix all those D-mods. This guy. Emphasis on try because apexes are way tankier than they look. And it doesn't help that the tab is backing up away from him. Alright. Limping to the finish line. We're gonna get there. Gee, that guy went down way faster than the other ones. Alright. Stats. All the meatballs down. One of the Odysseys, the Monitor, and the Aurora. Well, one of 3 Auroras. I think about it, I should probably trim down on how many Auroras I have. Anyway. Still have enough crew left. Okay. I could stick around for one more fight. Don't think that's a good idea. This one's not so bad. Probably. Okay. Last couple of times didn't work out, so let's try something different. Serial number. No meatballs. Bring in the champions. Tempest. And the Monitor. Also, don't even ask how I outfitted these champions because, they suck. That being said, they still definitely work better than when I first got them. Ooh, that one's got a wide shield. I wonder if that's gonna save him. Get rid of you. One of the champions is down. The other Nova's over there. Said that I want to bring in some Auroras, but that was a lie. He is successfully distracting me. Not for that long, though. Nova's still over there. Two Brilliants right next to me. One right over there. Champion's basically already done for. Just gonna have the backup behind the serial number. Tempest is toast. Champion's toast. Send in the towel. least knock out his engine. About half of his engine, not all of it. There it goes. Now to kill it for real. Can't complain too much about this one. Compared to the other two, those two were absolute disasters. Okay, how many dudes died for this victory? Little bit less than 400. More D-mods. I do get 2 more alpha cores. Alright, get the hell out of here. Gonna need about 2,000 more dudes. Already got an alpha core in there. And everywhere else. But what about the other planets? Also, when were the hegemony planning on showing up? Not for a while. Okay. Sell stuff. Stick another AI in charge of everything. It's definitely not a bad idea. And let's get to fixing some stuff. Starting with you. All of that repaired. Double high intensity laser probably isn't the way to go. Just judging by performance. Not entirely sure what to replace it with though. Maybe get rid of accelerated shields. Stick an abyssal glare on there. Give it a quick test run. Can it defeat standard onslaught? You better be able to. Doing the usual back up too much when you had the upper hand thing. Starting to think steady officers are overrated. Might just be a the grass is greener kind of situation though. Slowly winning this fight. I don't think that's quite good enough considering how much I have invested in this one ship. Especially with the way the abyssal glare works, you want to keep the pressure on. If you're always backing up, re-engaging like this guy does, it's not that good. Give him the old plasma cannon. A plasma cannon and abyssal glare. Maybe that's a combination that will make it work. Or maybe it won't. Let's find out. Kinda works. Then he goes and does stuff like this. Gives the other side time to stabilize. Which for something that can't really choose when to engage, like this one, the onslaught that is, not so bad. Against a Radiant, doesn't quite cut it. test one of my hunches. Will everything be fixed if I switch over to aggressive rather than steady? Probably not. Do it anyway. To be doing better. It's at least staying in range for the plasma cannon. Up to actually taking damage though, because this fluxes the whole way up. Well, definitely killed him faster. Don't really need the ECM rating thingamajig on someone who's driving a capital anyway. All repair would go a long way in long fights. More outright damage. It's also pretty good. Although the most important part of that one is increased damage to weapons and engines. Go with the combat endurance. Ooh. You have yourself a good EP time, sorry. Rogue. I will try to have fun blasting. Try not to complain too much, like I've been doing so far. That habit. Gotta get out of it. Okay, those guys are all aggressive now. I think the captain or officer for the Odyssey should probably stay on steady. Just because I know that Odysseys are kind of famous, or not Odysseys, Conquest, damn it. Totally different. But yeah, nah. Got a habit of going like, hey, if I put myself in between two enemies, I can use both sides of the ship. Completely ignoring the fact that the shield only works on one, like, quarter of the ship. And then they explode. Violently. All part of the theory crafting. That's where the fun is made. Making a design and seeing if it works or if it just results in a firework. Which in a way is a type of work. Alright, I'm gonna rip the band-aid off for these guys. They suck, they don't work, I want them to work, they don't. Strip. And scuttle. This guy I probably should also get rid of. But I can just do what I've been doing with the other ships. Switch it to aggressive. I think... maybe ordnance expertise would work better than systems expertise for the elite skill. So I'm not sure if that 10% less damage taken applies to all damage, including that to shield, or if it's just to the hull and armor. Probably all of it. More flex capacity, or less damage taken. I'll leave it as is. Hey, had an extra officer here that I've been paying for no reason because I'm already topped out. Goodbye. Okay, was also saying that I have too many Auroras, which I still think is true, even if these are pretty alright setups. So geez, meeples are really piling up the D-mods. Maybe get rid of a couple of these Auroras. Not get rid of, but just stick them in storage. Put away oven mitt. I'll keep cork. Put away towel. And I'm thinking mixtape and metal pipe, I'll put actual officers in charge. Then for the 4 other slots I have, should probably bring in some small stuff. As with all the big ships I have, that's already like all the deployment points. So more utility focused things would be good. Just because he's in charge of a Anubis, I'll keep him on steady. I do want energy weapon mastery, but I do also want field modulation. Get rid of combat endurance for that. Shouldn't be taking too much hull damage anyway, and if he is, he's probably gonna die in like one burst. Restore the hull. And restore this hull. Should probably have someone who's good at missiles on this one. Not that I think I have anyone who's got missile spec. The captain of the Cork has missile spec. I think the Cork's better than the metal pipe. Mostly because of all the antimatter SRM launchers. That's probably good enough. Less top speed. Kinda bad for a ship that really has to get out of the way sometimes. Restore it. Also, the cost definitely goes up per D mod. but I think the first D-mod it has the biggest total increase, and then each additional D-mod is a smaller increase. Still adds up to more. Degraded shields. Kinda sucks, but I'll leave that there. Definitely fix up that one. And this one too. %, less turn rate. I'm sure it's not that bad. Feel like there was something else I wanted to look at, but I forget what it was. Okay. Now I remember. Needed more ships. None of these guys. Gonna have to build some. Probably not anything quite this far down the list. Good old monitor. Maybe get 2 of those. Where's the Tempest? Not sure if I ever found a blueprint for that. Doesn't seem like I did. In that case, what else do I want? Not Furies. Not meatballs. Gunships seem neat. They also seem like it'd be pretty easy to invest a whole bunch into them, and then they're not quite worth investing in. Already tried the Grendel. Did not like it. Small carriers kinda suck. Which leaves basically nothing. More salvage rigs maybe. Nah. I'll just go with 2 monitors and leave the other slots open. If only I had been a little bit earlier with that order. Oh well. go back to getting more AI cores. Just have one more planet to stick one in. Alright. The AI is now in control of everything. And I'm sure that's fine. Oh hey, inspectors. Test out a couple of the new changes. And we leave. Okay, big boys are right up there. Serial numbers approaching the Dominators. I would either try to harass the Onslaughts, or I can go help serial number. I'll be part of the delaying force, I guess. Slowly tearing through them. We've got them surrounded. Situation remains the same. Musta suck to be aboard that onslaught. They should have thought of that before they came to my system. Okay. Elspeth kinda sucked. Wonder if the one right next door is any better. Once again, I forget where their house is. Have a quick look at the black hole that's over there. Yup, it's a big ol' hole. Big patrols. That one's... I was about to say not too bad, but I noticed that's a lot of alpha cores. Maybe not that one. That one over there should be manageable. It's got a radiant and a couple of apexes. It's also this one, but that's a lot of brilliance. Hate those things. Alright. Plus 24%. Which is more than what the other one was. Well, not sure if all the other ones were more or less the roughly 8% or whatever it was. We'll bring the mint, serial number, metal pipe, and the monitor. Not gonna give an assault order, it'll just give a capture order. Not gonna give a capture order to the nav buoy. I think by the time we actually get it captured, fight'll basically be done. It's the only way they're gonna let us get close enough, is if they're all dead. I'll bring in the mixtape. And the Tempest, why not? Use all 180 points. There's the Radiant. Better take care of him. Serial number. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. Okay. Bring in the stick. Doing pretty alright so far. Never too late for things to go catastrophic. Mint is fighting a lot of dudes on his own. Maybe try to get my way up there. Alright. Definitely going better. Just have to get the last view. Feels weird though. The only real thing I changed all that much, switching all my dudes over to aggressive rather than steady. Other than the guy who pilots the tab. And yet, we did definitely much better. Just makes me feel like I'm missing something. Oh hey. Pirates. Not what I wanted, but I guess it keeps things interesting. And also my monitors are done. They're ready for pickup. Stuff over there. But all the remnants know I'm here now, so I should probably leave. Icon looked a little orange, but don't worry, it's just some Persian dudes. They're here to trade. Couple more monitors. Got plenty of story points. Other one I've got over here has shield conversion front and stabilized shields built in. Still not sure if that's the best stuff to stick on here, but it works for the most part. Shield conversion front is the one that I'm not sure if I should even bother having built in, rather than flux distributor. But building in flux distributor on a frigate does really not much. It's not like I'm investing into anything but shields on these, so... just stick to what works. Alright. Ever feel like I see how I write too much? Because I sure do. Just out of curiosity, how long do all these monitors last if I throw them against, I don't know, 100 points worth of paffers? Definitely not gonna win. But how much of a problem or distraction can they be? That one's building up a lot of flux. And kaboom. Eradicators definitely seem to be the natural predator of the monitor. Probably doesn't help that all these guys are safety override. So they've got enough flux dissipation to just keep shooting forever. Whatever. These guys just kind of have to hang around the fleet, pop out, distract, hide again, get rid of the flux, repeat. Then also be cheap enough that I can deploy like 3 of them for the cost of like 1 meatball. Yeah. Speaking of meatballs, I think that's gonna have to be it for today's stream. Shorter than other ones I've done recently, but well, don't all get what we want now, do we? Anyway, gonna do a quick see if there's Anyone online? Oh, there is. A certain Mr. Churl that's online. Gonna go annoy him for a bit. Let me get that raid started. He is playing Slate Aspire 2, and I think he's pretty good at it. His current stream title is Clearing All A10s so I can move to the beta branch. Looking forward to see how that's going. Alright. Is that alright again? Don't make a drinking game out of that, you'll have blood alcohol poisoning. Anyways. I've gotta get going. Feel my brain dying. But hopefully it was a good stream. See ya.